What was that laugh about?
I don't know. Just I don't know what I was laughing about.
God, great start, buddy. Great start. How about you introduce the podcast?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Claw and the King. I'm once again joined by my good friend Zoobs. How are you going?
I am fantastic, my friend. Obviously, not a great week in sport for Manchester United if you look at the Arsenal result today, as well as our Champions League result. But, you know, I've been worse as a Manchester United fan. And hopefully the discussions in this podcast will sort of propel my vision that we can win the Champions League.
Yeah?
Don't you think we can?
We've definitely got a big show today, and I'm sure...
You didn't really answer the question.
I'm sure what we're going to talk about will definitely help Man United's chances.
I think they're listening, though. I think they're just thinking in their head.
They should be. If they're smart, they should be listening.
I don't think a certain amount of players would enjoy what I have to say about them, but
they should. If they can't handle criticism, they're in the wrong profession.
I don't think many of them can. I think that's why we're in the position we are. But anyway, what is the first topic that you want to move on to, my dear friend?
I don't know. What do you want to start with?
Well, we can start with just a recap. We can do a bit of the games and the fun activities later on, but we can sort of do a recap of the Champions League week.
Okay.
So, do you want to just pull up the results and just read them out for... Oh, I mean, I can. Jesus Christ. I can start off with the Manchester United game. Obviously, we drew 1-1 to Atletico Madrid at their... I forgot what their stadium's called. It's a weird name or something.
The Bernabeu.
Yeah, at the Bernabeu. We drew to Atletico.
Do they play in the same stadium as Real?
No.
Oh.
It's a completely different stadium.
So why were you going along with that?
Because it was jokes.
Oh, fuck.
It was bants, mate.
Didn't come across as a joke.
Bants, mate. Proper bants. It was a great sort of atmosphere that you could see right off the bat, with all the what are they called, tifos that they have in the stadium. I can't remember what it's called, but it was just a great atmosphere right from the bat. You could tell that we were sort of stunned in the first 5 or so minutes, and they scored from poor defending from Harry Maguire again. João Felix, pretty small
Ronaldo's
not really known for his heading ability, but he somehow scored a head up over Harry Maguire.
Is it somehow?
Make it make sense, lads. I just don't really understand how you get beat by a 5'9" Portuguese dude. Anyway, he might even be shorter than that. But from then on, the first half was poor all the way around. There's no other way to look at it. We were poor. Our passing was poor. Bruno and Pogba had been great the past couple of weeks, but they were extremely poor in that first half. Sancho and Ronaldo couldn't get in the game. Rashford, oh my God. I literally cannot remember a good thing that he did. I can't remember a pass that he made.
Yeah, remember that shot he took from
Dude, I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
It went about 12 meters above the goal.
It was 40 yards out, taken against Oblak, one of the best keepers in the world, takes a 40-yard shot. It's just like, what are you doing? And we're on the counter as well. It's not like we have no prospect and we've been passing the ball around for 20 minutes. Look, that first half was abysmal. Nobody other than Lindelof, maybe even though he wasn't good offensively.
They're playing Lindelof at right back.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the reasoning behind it, but
they should play him at centre back.
Yeah,
and drop Maguire.
We can't do that, can we? Because he's a club captain. But I think Lindelof was decent in that game, especially in that first half. I thought he was the player that came out of it with a bit of sort of dignity almost. I think everyone else played poorly. And it could have been 2-0 with that chance from, what was it, for Salco, I think his name is, at the end of the first half. But yeah, it was so poor. But the second half, we sort of, I don't want to say we grew into the game, but we made it more of a scrappy game. They wanted it to be a scrap, and we sort of matched them on that playing field. And you could see with the amount of fouls and the amount of yellow cards that we got in the second half that we really sort of went toe-to-toe with them. And look, it was a bit of a smash and grab, I'm not going to lie. I think everybody can sort of admit, any United fan can fully admit that it was a smash and grab, but at the end of the day, it was a good turnover. We passed the ball from back to front. Alanga with a good finish. Bing, bong, bang, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was an extremely lucky game. Like I am a Man United fan, but I don't really
You're
care
casual,
about it as much as you.
You're casual.
I mean, I think they should be extremely happy they got away with a draw, because they looked terrible the entire game basically. This is the first game that I watched live, like the full game, not just watching the 3-minute highlights on YouTube. And I understand the midfield issue now because it was dreadful. Yeah, it was dreadful. They couldn't string more than 2 passes together.
Well, we don't have
without losing the ball.
We don't have a player that can,
and they're not showing for the ball. Like I'm watching Varane just stand with the ball, and he's like, "Bruh, can someone do something?" And he just ends up booting it because there's no one's showing for it. It's like it's under 8 stuff. Just fucking show for the ball.
I know we have no number 6, and nobody. It's usually McTominay that does that. He hides behind players, and it's kind of a thing where you don't feel bad for Maguire, but oftentimes when he has the ball, he's looking at it like, I've got to pass sideways, or I've got to try a long ball here. There's no number 6 that we can pass it to that's going to feed it and going to be like, all right, we can work it here. We can sort of pass the ball upfield. We can control the tempo of the game. We just can't do it because we don't have a number 6. So yeah, it was just poor from the midfield perspective. I mean, it usually isn't that bad because Bruno and Pogba have been playing well of recent, but
yeah, mate, Bruno was terrible.
It was awful.
That's the first full game I've seen of him as well. And it's just,
he's a Man United
everyone
fan.
rates him so highly, but it's just...
How are you a Man United fan and you've watched one game of Bruno Fernandes?
Well, I've seen him before, but not...
You've seen him before?
I haven't actually
on
properly
Twitter.
watched him. Yeah, he lost the ball every time he got it. His touches were heavy. I don't know. I didn't see why he's the guy.
Oh my God, here we go. Watches one game.
I see him shank shots. I see him heavy touches.
Yeah, he had a bad game.
Losing the ball.
He had a bad game. But I'm not going to blame Bruno. He hasn't been unbelievable this year, but he's definitely somewhat of a bright spot in terms of his goal contributions and what he's brought to us in an attacking sense. But yeah, the tempo of the game was so poor from us. We came out so flat-footed, and they came out ready to go up for it, sort of pursuing the ball. They were pressing us, and maybe we didn't anticipate it because they're a defensive team and they've not been in good form. But from an overall perspective, that first half was terrible. Second half better, but the most important thing is that we're probably in a slight advantage for the next leg because it's a 1-game scenario essentially at home. So I do think we've come out of that a lot better than we could have. But we should be winning at home at Old Trafford because Atletico Madrid have not been good this season.
Yeah, I think if Man United were playing a Chelsea or a Liverpool, it would have been 3-4-0.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid are kind of like us in a sense. They're not playing well, but they're passion merchants at the end of the day. And they'll be working off the fans, and they're working off sort of this Champions League is the only way that they're going to have any significant success this season. They've got great players, but they're just not playing well as a team. So we need to win it because obviously Arsenal, as I previously mentioned, Arsenal won today against Wolves, which makes our top 4 sort of, I think, they scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, which was just awful. But
how could they?
It's like, oh my God, could you just not lose and give us a break? Because we can't. Ronaldo is not going to be playing Europa League football. I'm sorry. So he's definitely gone if we don't get Champions League next season. And the amount of players that will go and not come in because we don't get Champions League will be just so depressing. And it will be a terrible season next year if we can't get Champions League. And I don't want to be one of those Glazer-loving fans where we go, Champions League, that's the goal. We got to get 4th every season. But it's such a priority in terms of retaining the talented players in the squad and getting more talented players in positions of need, like number 6, like centre-back. Because we don't want another Harry Maguire, do we? We don't want another shithole.
No, we don't.
At centre-back. But yeah, if you look at the other results, moving on a bit, if you look at other European games, obviously Rangers beat Dortmund in the Europa League, which was unbelievable. And nothing really out of the ordinary in other sort of in games, I don't think. Maybe Bayern Munich drawing to Salzburg was a bit of a surprise, but all in all, I think the Europa League was probably where Rangers beat the second best team in Germany. It was a bigger surprise probably for a long time because they haven't. I mean, that's probably, what do you reckon, the biggest result in Scottish history?
I don't know.
Really?
I'm not a Scottish historian.
Well, okay, yeah, it is probably the biggest result in European Scottish history. Well, I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson did win a European trophy with Aberdeen over Real Madrid, but I think that overall it was a great result for Rangers. But yeah, there wasn't too many surprises. I mean, all the English teams got good, easy games apart from Liverpool, really. So Chelsea and Man City should be up significantly in that first leg. And yeah, it wasn't really a shocking one. It wasn't really a fantastic Champions League sort of week, you'd have to say. But Manchester United, I probably imagine, was the most important. Well, not the most important, but the most entertaining game. Even though the quality was poor, it was a very good contest, all in all. And yeah, it was a tough watch, really tough watch if you're a Manchester United fan. But I guess that's what
I think. Like Suarez wasn't even playing. Griezmann only played at the end. I know Suarez is older now and he's not as good as he used to be, but I think if someone like him was on the pitch, I think they very easily could have converted one of the chances they had.
Could you imagine if Suarez scored at Old Trafford? Oh my God.
Well, I think they're going to play him in the second game.
Oh
surely.
my God. It would just be the biggest cheat, the biggest grub in the history of sport to score a former ex-Liverpool player as well, to score a winner at Old Trafford.
And then he just bites De Gea's ear off.
Yeah, and he would celebrate in front of the Stretford end as well. He'd just be an absolute cock about it. Oh my God, it'd be awful.
Sucks his thumb.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, listen up. Oh, you can't hear me now." Like, it'd just be so bad. But I think we would win. I don't know what your feeling is, but I know we were poor. But surely the Old Trafford crowd, you've got maybe you got Watford today. Well, it won't be today, but it'll be tomorrow for us to build some confidence. Because Watford are shit. If we don't beat Watford, then just cancel the whole club. Like, can we just get relegated to the League 2, please? But I think that we should win. There is no excuse to lose that game. I mean, the ramifications of it would be pretty astounding. I don't know.
Watford or Atletico?
Atletico, mate.
Oh.
Not Watford.
Yeah.
If we lose to Watford, I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be crying over it.
Really?
No, I think
it'd be
losing
more
in
embarrassing than Atletico.
Really, losing in a Champions League knockout stage is easier than losing to Watford, a random game in the Premier League against Watford.
Yeah, but Watford's way worse.
Yeah, but who cares if it's more embarrassing, less embarrassing? All that matters is we progress in the Champions League, and we need to do that. Hopefully, I mean, I remember Carrasco wasn't playing as well. I think he had a illness of some sort. So Carrasco will probably come back, even though Lodi played well in his position. Hopefully, Delo would be playing at right back, and Harry Maguire can somehow get benched. Maybe, I don't want to wish ill will on anybody.
COVID.
No, but maybe he has.
Mate, you should celebrate that draw, Maguire. Go out on the town, enjoy it.
Yeah. How about you just do a punch up with the police again? You know. Did you hear about that?
No.
In Greece, he got on a punch up with the police, and what was he? He said in questioning, he said, "I'm a Manchester United captain" or something. Just
Why
let me
would
go.
you say that?
Yeah, it was a pretty big story at the time.
Oh
But
God, he's probably got the slowest punches ever as well.
yeah, he definitely doesn't have good reflexes. That guy'd get dropped in a second. But thanks for the call.
That was unfortunate.
Why do you have your phone linked up to the? You're an idiot.
Just turn that down.
Okay. Moving on from the Champions League then, just from that phone call, that was a good intermission. What would you like to discuss next, my lead presenter?
Okay, let's move into... You want to quickly review All-Star Weekend?
Okay, we'll do a quick one. It wasn't that interesting, in my opinion. All-Star game, obviously, will come down to the wire because the way the format works. And it was a good game. I didn't really watch it that often because I had work, but it was a decent game.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing much to say about it. I mean, I expected Team LeBron to win because talent-wise and probably you had Giannis in that game. You had a lot of hard players that typically play well in the All-Star game. But again, the All-Star game isn't that. I don't even like it that much. It's not really a. It's not really a game that I look forward to. It's not like the pinnacle of the All-Star weekend. I think the 3-point contest is by far the pinnacle of the.
I think the game's better than the 3-point contest.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the Saturday night is way better with the skills and the dunk. Even though the dunk contest was terrible, and the 3-point, I think that's way more entertaining than. But anyway, also game when as expected, dunk contest was awful.
Yeah,
the worst dunk contest I've ever seen. I mean, my God, could you make a dunk?
It was bad.
Could you do something? Could you?
Jalen Green flopped like
I
bad.
predicted him to win. I thought he was going to be the most explosive athlete there. Turns out, doesn't know how to coordinate his legs and arms.
Surely he practices those dunks. Surely you don't try a dunk unless you know you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, people, and you hear like on ESPN and stuff how people are saying, you know, we should do this format or we should change this or different ideas for different formats. I just think you shouldn't get judges like Dwayne Wade that screw Aaron Gordon and get quality dunkers out of the dunk contest. I mean, if Dwayne Wade doesn't give him a 9, Aaron Gordon could be in this dunk contest.
I don't know.
Look, Dwayne Wade, that was scripted.
Yeah, but usually people only go in it like once or twice.
Yeah, but Aaron Gordon, I think you just need to recruit stars to it. I think you need to have guys that are great dunkers. You got to increase your incentive for it. I don't mean maybe not necessarily money-wise, but I don't know. Is there an added benefit that you could have in the playoffs, or or I don't know, like I'm trying to
give someone a benefit in the playoffs for a dunk contest?
Yeah, I don't know.
What? Or
maybe a second-round pick or something for the team. I don't know.
I think it has to be a money incentive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if it's a money incentive. You just got to get the bigger names, the better dunkers in there, because we all know Obi Toppin is a clear in-game dunker. He's not a guy that's going to do multiple skills. He's not going to guy that's going to be flashy. So. But again, how? One, Toscano Anderson had like...
He doesn't even look like he's good at dunking in games. He looks like he barely even get up there. And he's in the dunk contest.
I think he did. He had like a game where he had like 2 posters in the game, and I think they just saw that and was like,
Yeah, but that was just timing. It wasn't like he was getting over people.
Yeah. I think he's just a regular guy in the NBA. He's not even a specific dunker. Who was the other guy?
Cole Anthony. Again. He's just short.
And he's not like he's got bunnies. Like, he's not like he's like unbelievably athletic. Like, he can dunk. He can do a solid dunk in a game. Windmill. Yeah, he can do a good dunk in a game, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to do like a free throw line dunk like a Zach, or like a, underneath the leg dunk or something like that. He's not going to do something that's unbelievable. It's going to win a dunk contest. It was just awful. Oh, God almighty. How do you... I mean, you knew it was not going to be great from the lineup, really. I mean, you knew Cole Anthony. I thought Jalen Green would do a lot better, but I thought the other guys were not classic All-Star game dunkers. 3-point contest. Luke Kennard, my boy, he nearly did it.
He did all right.
He nearly did it. Did he come second or third?
Well, I think he came equal second.
Yeah.
Who was the other dude?
Who cares? Luke Kennard. But Cat won it, which I didn't really expect. I don't know about you.
I didn't expect him to win. No.
Yeah, I don't think it was that expected. I mean, you've got a lot of good shooters there. Maybe.
Who's the other guy they tied with? It's pissing me off now.
I don't know either. But I know that...
Oh, it was Trey.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it now, it probably makes sense that Cat would do well in the competition because he's a very sort of rigid. He doesn't use a lot of sort of jump on his shot. He's not going to get tired. And he's a very sort of catch and shoot. He's obviously a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, so he's going to be used to sort of settling himself and getting a sort of a rhythm going from a catch and shoot perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So is it probably a deserved winner, obviously, but probably should have expected more from him. Who won the skills again? Was it the Giannis brothers that won it?
No.
Didn't they?
No. It was the Cavs, I think.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it was the Cavs. They did the weird... It was a weird format. I didn't really understand half of it.
Yeah.
They did...
The rookies just didn't care.
Yeah, but I thought the rookies did the best. Like, I thought the rookies were probably the better team, but then they had like the weird, if you made a half-court shot at the end, you won the entire thing.
Yeah.
Which was just weird.
It was just like one half-court shot. Just chuck it until you make it. First one to make it.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter if you did not.
That's so weird to...
You could have done absolutely nothing the
end
entire
a competition
thing.
on that, yeah.
Yeah, you could have, and it was worth 200 points, so you could have done nothing the entire thing and just made a half-court shot and won the skills contest. So I think it wasn't... I didn't love the format, but I mean, it was a good...
It was funny watching Giannis.
It was a good appetite.
Be mad at his
brothers. Oh my god, it was
so
so funny watching the difference between Giannis and his brothers. I mean, you don't blame them because one.
I mean, fair. They're in the NBA and they're just straight airballing threes like it's nothing.
It was just
not even getting close.
But the Cavs are probably the better players, so you'd expect them to win that competition. So yeah, All-Star Weekend, a decent one if the dunk contest was better.
Well, I mean, with the 75 thing, it was pretty sick.
Oh yeah, with the 75 sort of introduction. I didn't even get to watch that, but it was sort of fun seeing all those guys, all the old heads together. Mm-hmm. According to Kenny Smith, the top 10 players of all time. LeBron will be 10th on that list, guaranteed. But I think it was a good ceremony. It was a good spectacle. I just wish the dunk contest was a bit more entertaining. Are you good there?
Yeah, sorry.
You just got so many women, Jesus. Just hitting up your phone all the time. It's just embarrassing.
My mum's getting... I don't know. Just continue. What were you saying?
Yeah, the classic mum thing. Okay, what topic would you like to move on to next then?
Okay,
it just seems like your mum is like the interval of every single topic. Like she just
no, because she rang me, so I was just responding to her.
Okay.
But okay. So speaking of the top 75 and all that, ESPN have since ranked the top 75 from best to worst or from worst to best. And so we'll take a look at the top 10. Do you know who's in the top 10?
I know. Yeah, I think I do, but I know that Kobe's 10th, and I know there's a bunch of old heads in there.
That was probably the main story. It was Kobe was 10th. So yeah, is there anyone that you think should have made it that didn't?
You're gonna have to read. I mean, I don't think so. I know that you could have maybe had Akeem in there. I would have maybe considered him.
I would have had Shaq in there.
I think you could have had Shaq or Akeem. Obviously Kawhi maybe. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Hakeem probably would be my one if I was going to put. But I don't mind the list. I just don't like. I don't like to hate on like the older players, but I mean, Bill Russell shot like 40% from the field. He against 5'10" white dudes. He played against 3 teams, and he's ranked like the 6th best player of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. Kobe's my favorite player of all time, so I'm biased, but I would probably have him in that 5 region.
Yeah, I probably have Kobe 5. I don't think it's egregious that he's 10th, but I think he should be in that top 5. MJ first, LeBron second. You can't really be surprised about that.
Yeah, I'd have LeBron first, but
I would have had Magic instead of Kareem. I would have had Magic 3rd, Kareem 4th. I think that's probably a smarter thing. I just think Magic was an all-around better player. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
I mean, fuck. I don't really know about comparing Magic and Kareem.
Were you old enough to watch them play?
No, I wasn't.
Oh my god, I thought you were old. You are older than... No, I'm actually older than you. Bird, Duncan. Yeah, I would put...
I mean, Tim Duncan's a little surprising.
No.
He's very good, but I don't know if he's top 10.
Yeah, you could have had Isaiah Thomas in there. I maybe had Steph Curry as a sneaky one. There's a lot of players that you could have... KD you could have had in there. There's a lot of sort of older players that snuck in there instead of younger players, but You can't be too mad at the list. It was who was it voted on by?
I think it was just ESPN people.
Okay, just ESPN dudes. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I didn't have too much. I had more sort of quarrels about the rest of the list, like Reggie Miller, what was it 51 or something, which is ridiculous. I mean, Reggie Miller, Paul George was a better player than Reggie Miller. I mean, we've had a discussion about this before. Paul George is 100% a better player than Reggie Miller. Dwight Howard took a magic. Did Dwight Howard win an MVP?
No.
But he won defensive.
I think he should have won one.
He should have won one. He had multiple defensive player of the years. He took the Magic to the finals. Does Reggie Miller come close to that? No. It's just because Dwight's not a very well-liked player. Kawhi.
Well, it's because Dwight's the past 5-6 years of his career have been shit, so people forget.
Yeah. Well, and he had a bad sort of first in the Lakers. He didn't really meet up to expectations when he was in Houston or LA. So, but with the Magic, those years that he had there, you can't sort of put Reggie Miller in front of him, in my opinion. I don't mind Reggie just making the list. Is a bit controversial if he's 75, but the fact that he got him 51 above Westbrook, who is a MVP, who averaged a triple-double 3 seasons in a row. I don't like Westbrook as a player now, but you can't argue the career that he's had. And it's not like Reggie Miller's a multiple-time champion. Reggie Miller hasn't won anything. Reggie Miller probably made the third team twice. So what has he won?
And it's but yeah, because they did did you see they did a TNT draft of the 75 players?
Yeah.
They did that, and it's alarming how many current or newer players they pick. So basically every current player, I think, was taken in the first round or two, and then you don't see any of them being picked last. So no one really rates any of these old players. They just have them there
for respect.
Yeah, and then they had 4 wild cards, which can be people you can draft outside of the list, just people you want to bring into your team.
Yeah,
and they're all new players like Klay Thompson, like Jokic. I think Tracy McGrady was one of them. So no one wants old players. They all think the newer players are better players, but it's just for some reason they don't rank them that way.
Yeah, again, Tracy McGrady was another one that I think is better than Reggie Miller.
Because it's impossible to deny that the league evolves and the people playing in the league as it evolves are going to be better than the people that were in the old league.
Yeah. Just you have more players, young kids playing basketball. You got more competition. You just got a greater sort of talent level from a youth level all the way up to professional. So I don't mind it from a respect way, because obviously I'm not disrespecting Bill Russell, because obviously him and Wilt paved the way for the NBA. The NBA wouldn't be what it is today without those early guys winning championships and being stars of the league at that time period. But you can't reasonably compare those guys to current day players. And I've made some controversial comments about guys like Wilt and saying he's Andre Drummond
Andre Drummond's amazing.
Yeah, if you put Andre Drummond back there, he'd play like Wilt, but he was a great athlete. I think there's no doubt about that, but you got to look at it. Who was he playing against? What was the competition like? There was no teams. There was a bunch of white dudes. I'm white. There's nothing against white dudes, but the 5'10" white dudes are not that athletic in comparison to today's NBA. So yeah, it's a controversial one, but I think that over time it just mends itself, because you have guys when they retire, they get a sort of elevation in their ranking in history.
Yeah, so once they make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, once they sort of make the Hall of Fame, they've retired for a couple of years, they probably push up the list. So guys like Kawhi, guys like Giannis, they probably won't be in the top 10 before they retire, but after they retire, they will be. So
yeah,
that's a good sort of recap on that All-Star weekend.
Okay. All right, so do you want to move on to these little segments you've come up with?
Well, I mean, we've collectively come up with them. I don't want to take all the credit for it.
I want you to take the credit in case it flops.
Okay, I'll take the credit for it.
This one's your idea. You explain this.
Okay, do you want to... No, you can explain it.
You explain it.
Okay, so the Kardashians. Obviously, Keeping Up the Kardashians, great show. They've been in relationships with multiple NBA players. I mean, that's a good thing. They're good talent scouts, but that's sort of the point of this game. We're gonna analyze, or we're gonna make up our own starting fives of people that have either rumored to have dated or married or full-on dated or maybe just flings with the Kardashians. So do you want to go first, my friend? Do you have you
I think we
composed
should.
it?
I think we should do a combined team
What do you mean?
because, like, we both agree on who's the point, who's the 2, who's the 3, who's the 4.
Okay. All right.
Because I think we'll have similar teams anyway if we do separate
There's
teams.
a couple controversial ones there. I'm not saying.
Okay, would you want to do different teams?
No, we can sort of debate
Yeah,
a
we
team.
can just debate a team and decide together.
Okay, point guard for you.
Okay, so the guards on the list we've got here. So obviously we've got Ben Simmons, James Harden, Jordan Clarkson, I guess.
Rick Fox.
Is he a point guard?
He's a guard. You said guards.
Okay. Devin Booker. I don't know what position Rashad McCants played.
I don't know that good.
I don't think he's going to make the team.
But yeah, we'll sort of do that. I think for me, it's got to be. Oh, this one's a tough one actually.
At the 1.
Because you could have
Because if you play Simmons at the 1, either Booker or Harden's going to miss out.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's this one's a tough one. I think it is between those 3 players though. I think it's between Simmons.
I'll say
Harden.
Harden at 1 because I would rather have Booker in the team over Simmons.
That's a really tough one. I don't know. I mean, Ben Simmons. You know what? I will actually agree with you on this point because I think later on my pick for power forward plays a similar role
Yeah.
to what Ben Simmons does anyway. So I'd agree with that. I don't like the defending in that team, but you know what? Talent wise, you probably would go with that. Jordan Clarkson may be honourable mention, but he'd be a 6th man in that team probably.
Yeah. Okay, so it's settled on Harden at the 1.
Yes.
Okay. Booker at the 2?
Yes.
Yes?
Booker
Okay.
at the 2. Now, forwards.
Okay, so forwards, we've got Lamar Odom,
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson, or
Would you put him as center? Do they have a centre on that list?
is Chris What's Chris Humphries?
He was a powerful. He's a power forward centre. Like we could do a small forward.
Yeah, small forward's probably Odom, right?
Yeah, I think Odom's probably the standout there. So it'd be Odom, power forward,
Blake.
Yeah, I'd go. I think we might have similar teams. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know, man.
What, you're going to have Tristan Thompson over Blake?
Well, I want Tristan Thompson in the team,
Really?
but he plays centre for me.
Yeah.
So I'd have, but then I don't like the shooting in that. I don't.
No, it's not terrible.
You know, I'd have Ben at. I'm gonna switch it up. Ben's gonna be the 3. Ben Simmons is gonna be the 3. Blake's the 4.
That helps the shooting.
But Ben Simmons is the 3. Odom. I don't know. Blake's the 4. Tristan Thompson's the 5. Odom's out.
Odom's out. Simmons at the 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was meant to be a small forward coming out, wasn't he? That's what he was supposed to be drafted as, a small forward.
Okay. Well, I would go with Odom at the 3.
You got Odom over Simmons.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Shooting.
Well, Odom wasn't a renowned shooter. He was a good mid-range
He's a
shooter.
decent shooter.
But why Odom over Simmons is a better player than Odom, no?
He is, but I just feel like he can't play 3. I don't know.
He could do. I mean,
No, I think he could play 4. I don't know if he could play 3.
I think the
Because 3s have to stand on the wing, like,
no,
and he can't shoot.
I think that Simmons would be. You got Harden and Booker there. You don't have to. You could be sort of a secondary ball handler with those guys. I just don't think. I mean, Odom might have problems later on in the season with certain substances. I don't know. There might be a problem
But
child.
Simmons might have problems with his mind.
Yeah, you've got a bit of problems in those locker rooms. So let's just point that out there. Yeah, I think Blake Griffin's a shoo-in. I think you've got to have Blake in there. Even though, I mean, if we're talking about Blake Griffin now, I wouldn't have him. But Blake Griffin, Blake Griffin, you've got to have him in there. Yeah, I just don't think you can leave Simmons out of that list. I think he's too talented. I think he's just too talented of a player to not play in that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. I'm not mad at Simmons, but
all right. Do you want next topic? That was a good sort of
okay. So I'll leave Simmons in. So just to recap, our all-time starting five: Kardashian,
rumored dating, or
just Kardashian fling or whatever the fuck they were. So we got James Harden at the 1. I didn't even know he was with them until today.
How did you? That was a big news back in like 2017.
I do not remember that at all.
How do you not watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I don't watch that.
It was like the greatest show of all time. How did you not watch that? How did you not know the Chloe and James thing?
I don't know.
Did you know Chloe dated French Montana?
Maybe.
That's a no. How do you not know this? This is the gossip. This is what matters in life. This is what life has given us. Reality TV. This is the only pleasure that you ever get in life. Reality television.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to watch Kardashian.
It's not that bad, no? Kardashians?
I don't know. Okay, so we got Simmons at the 1, Booker at the 2. Harden at the 1, Booker at the 2, Simmons at 3.
Yeah.
Blake at 4, and Tristan Thompson at 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Chris Humphries, they're very similar players. It's very odd. Tristan Thompson and I don't think you remember Chris Humphries, but they're very similar players, grafters, guys that get rebounds, smaller centers, not like the big sort of bruising guys, but just a sneaky guy that gets rebounds. So they're very, very similar players. It's not. I don't want to disregard Chris Humphries. I think he's should be considered for the position, but I think that, and maybe he got married to Kim. Maybe that's more of a.
That's pretty good.
Maybe that's more of a significant relationship. Maybe that edges him a bit forward.
That's not any Kardashian. That's the Kardashian.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian. Maybe do you get elevated for that? I mean, Tristan's a bit of a likes to have multiple women at once. So with that,
he's not a very loyal guy.
Yeah, would he be loyal to your team?
I don't know.
Would he be there?
He might leave us in free agency.
Would he be there for you in Game 7 of a NBA Finals? I don't know. But I think we got to take him purely on talent-wise. I think he's just superior talent.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on. We'll go on to another little debate. So we've just on little topics to talk about. We've come up with this week. I don't know where this thought came from, but the dirtiest players of all time.
Yes.
I guess we can talk about basketball and soccer.
Yeah. For me, I cannot believe we had a quick discussion about this, and I couldn't believe that you didn't think about this guy. I can't believe it. He's the most grubbiest player in the history of basketball. What he did to Kawhi Leonard was a damn right travesty.
Yeah, true.
Zaza Pachulia is the number one grub of all time. He's gonna say Pat Bev, and it's just ridiculous. He's a grub, but he does it out of the spirit of the game. He does it because he's a competitor. He does it. Zaza goes out there to try and injure people. There's no level that's greater than that. There's never been a player. I mean, Roy Keane, obviously, we might talk about with the football perspective. He might have done that to Haaland once. I mean, a bit of an accident, if you ask me. But I think Zaza, when you go out, it's not just one person. Westbrook as well. And then another time, he tries to arc up to Westbrook. He pushes him down and tries to arc up to... I mean, the grubbiest player I've ever seen.
You seen the one where someone's fallen down and he just walks over to them and pretends to trip over and fall on top of them?
Yeah, that was Westbrook.
he just walks over to him and then just falls on him.
It's like, I'm uncoordinated, guys. Sorry. How on earth you didn't think about that guy?
Yeah, I did forget that.
That is...
It's because he's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I guess he's not like... Pat Bev's probably more famous. He's probably
Pat Bev's still in the league, so...
Yeah. What is your picks for the grubbiest guys?
So yeah, I definitely did have Pat Bev in there. I mean, obviously he's had a storied rivalry with Westbrook over the years. He's dived at a few knees over the years.
Well, one knee. It wasn't a few.
But he's always there. If you're looking for a bit of what's the word?
Grit, a bit of toughness.
I don't know. Pat Bev's always in a scuffle.
Yeah, have a bit of cojones about you. You get Pat Bev.
He's kind of like this generation's Kevin Garnett, I guess.
If Kevin Garnett couldn't play basketball.
Yeah. The mentality's there at least.
Yeah.
Pat, sometimes he's a little bit dirty, a few hard fouls. And yeah, he does have a thing for knees, but I guess we can't really hold that against him. Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah.
Also, Grayson Allen, recent candidate, recently took out. Who did he take out?
I thought he got
Alex
better.
Caruso. He recently took out Alex Caruso.
I thought he was better. I thought he had problems in college. I mean, he tried to trip up at it in college, and then he was bad early on in his career with Utah. But then I thought
Utah.
You know, he
was in Memphis.
Yeah, I know he played for the Utah before Memphis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought, but since he was sort of playing well with Memphis and then went to the Bucks and started playing well, I thought.
No, he. That's why Alex Caruso's been out. He did something to him and he got suspended for it. I think it was like a flagrant 2 or something. And yeah, it was a grubby foul. And then, he's slapped a few people in the heads quite hard, over the years.
Yeah, he's tripped up a couple of people.
He's a notable offender, I would say. Also Kelly Olynyk, also a notable grub. He injured Kevin Love in the playoffs one year when he was on the Celtics, and that's why he missed out on the finals that year. And I think it was kind of like a chicken wing or something, like pulled his arm.
Yeah.
And he's also reoffended over the years a couple times, so he's a mention on my list.
Mm-hmm.
You have anyone else on yours?
Well, I was surprised with the Kelly Olynyk one, but yeah, I didn't. To be honest, I don't mind those players when they're good, when they play basketball, but they do it at a probably more of a competitive level, and they try and get an edge, and they try and get under people's skin. I don't mind that. Grayson Allen, I think, does it out of attitude. He does it out of petulance. He does it out of he gets mad for a second. He just has a reaction.
He's like an angry kid at school. He's like that one kid with anger management issues at school.
But the thing about Zaza is he methodically and he tried to injure players.
He writes notes on how to injure people.
Like, there's no way that anybody could be a bigger grub than that. In terms of basketball. Now, football wise, have you written a couple names down for football?
Yeah, I've got Luis Suarez.
Yeah.
Obviously, he likes the taste of human flesh.
Who doesn't?
Most notably ears.
Cannibal. We should just cannibal rights are a thing, okay?
Yeah.
You can be a cannibal.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he deserves his spot on this list. I don't know. Does he do dirty fouls? I don't really know if he does dirty fouls like that.
Well, I'm not too sure. He was. Look, the thing with Suarez was he was a strop. He was kind of like Grayson Allen, but he's a much better player. But he just got really bad anger problems. Obviously, he did the thing where he in the the World Cup? I don't know if it was. I think it might have been quarterfinals with Uruguay, where he palmed the ball, handballed the ball clearly as a cheating move when they were about to score, and they ended up missing the penalty, and Uruguay won the game over Ghana. So that was probably a very controversial moment, you could say.
But that's a good moment then. He's helped his team.
Yeah, but it was a.
I don't know if that's dirty.
But it was a cheating moment. He did it.
Yeah,
he cheated. And then obviously the biting situation, and he had racist incidents with Patrice Evra against Manchester United. There was accusations of racism towards Patrice Evra that he had about Patrice Evra. And then he had a whole spat. He wouldn't shake his hand when they were when they were doing the introductions at the start of the game. He was just he was a grub, and he still is a grub. I think he's probably up there. And obviously Pepe, you've got there on your list as well. I think Pepe.
He uses that head for things other
again,
than...
he's Pat Bev. You know, I don't mind players that are grubs in the sense that they do it to get under people's skin and they do it to try and get their team a competitive advantage. And you could say Suarez does the same thing, but he also does stuff like biting people. You cannot bite somebody and then blame that your tooth is sore. Did you not see that when he did that? He bit He bit. What's his name?
I don't know. He did it twice. Didn't he?
Was it Keely? I can't remember.
He did it in the World Cup, didn't
he? Yeah, he bit someone in the World Cup. And he went down the ground. He's like, "Oh my god, my tooth is sore." It's like he's holding onto his tooth, like cheerleading.
Why is this person's ear attached to my tooth?
Yeah. But yeah, he's not very. I mean, Suarez, you could do it. He did it for competitive advantage, but another one that probably is a mention that I won't say. It won't be my pick because I love the guy. He's a greatest captain of all time, Roy Keane. If you don't know about he did stuff in the locker room that wasn't grubby, but it was very, he would speak his mind. But obviously the Haaland situation where Haaland injured him and that he had a long-term injury. I think it was ACL injury for Roy Keane, and then a couple of years later he breaks Haaland's leg in half, and Haaland can't play football anymore. So I think that sort of play, as much as I don't like to say it, it is probably it's similar to Zaza. He intentionally tried to injure him. Like, you cannot spin it any other way. I mean, to be fair, Haaland did injure him and keep him out for a long time, and he had no apologies for him. After he got injured, Roy Keane, Haaland stood over him and said some stuff in his face. And you could just clearly see that in the second incident. I mean, I didn't watch the game live, obviously.
Fly kick from hell.
He just went studs in, just right into the calf of Haaland, and clearly did it out of hatred for the guy. So I think that is probably the grubbiest play you can say in football history. But I would say that Suarez is a grubbier player overall.
Yeah.
I mean, Pepe's an honourable mention. Guys like him and Sergio Ramos, obviously with the amount of red cards. If you look at the all-time red cards, I'm sure those guys are up there. But I think you got to look at Suarez, for me personally, in terms of the track record, the amount of incidents and the sort of the gravity of the incidents that he did at both international level and club level. I think you got to pick Suarez for me. But
anyone else?
But anyone on those is
I don't know.
I was thinking about it. Football is a game where you can't get away with a lot, because if you do the slightest of contact, the player's going down. There's obviously been really bad incidents. You see some people that did salutes over in, and we're talking about, well, one of the far right kind, we'll say. So you've seen that in like Eastern Europe. There's been some really bad sort of moments like that by certain players, but if you're talking about big name players in big games, you've got to look at those three, in my opinion. And Keane's a shout for it and especially if I was a Man United fan, I'd probably put Keane right up there. But for that singular incident alone, but for me, it's got to be Suarez. I think Pepe's a consideration, but Suarez for me.
Yeah, Suarez. He's done well today. He's taken home the award.
Good job, Suarez.
Never got a Ballon d'Or, but
good job, Suarez. I'm proud of you, buddy.
He's got this.
Hopefully you do not score next week, because that would be very detrimental to my mental health. So I'd appreciate if you wouldn't score next week, buddy.
Yeah.
Is there any other topics that you'd like to have a chat about?
I don't know. I mean, we can talk about NRL players. There's a lot of grubs in the NRL.
I reckon we finish off with one thing. You could talk about NRL, but I reckon a segment to finish us off. See, this is the Alex Ferguson autobiography. I meant to say Bible. It is essentially.
It's not related to God at all.
Well, the man is kind of like God. So we're gonna. How about we do a segment where, at the end of the show, we'll put our hand on the Bible, and say it doesn't have to be controversial necessarily, but say a statement maybe in the next week or the next month of sport that is something that you think's going to happen or you wish is going to happen. Or we'll do something that you think's going to happen. So a controversial, maybe slight controversial opinion that you think's going to happen, and you're going to swear on the Bible that it's going to happen. Okay, I'll start us off. So obviously the Clippers and Lakers are playing tomorrow when we're recording this. I'm going to put my hand on the Bible, aka the Sir Alex Ferguson autobiography. The Clippers will beat the Lakers tomorrow. And Marcus Morris will be the game's best player.
Oh, God.
There you go. Wow. Watch him not play. If Marcus Morris is not playing, it's going to be tough. What? Reggie Jackson.
He's going to be better than LeBron.
Reggie Jackson. Bobby Schmurder going to step up big time.
Okay. What happens if you're wrong?
Then I've disrespected the greatest man in the history of football.
Okay.
Gotta put your hand on the Bible, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking.
You just put it on beforehand.
Okay. I think.
No, it's gotta be. Yeah.
I think. I think the Brooklyn Nets.
It's gotta be in the next month, mate. We're not talking about NBA championships.
I can't think of stuff in the next month.
You don't think of a game? I think
a game. I don't know the NBA schedule.
A specific event that's happening. Maybe a UFC fight that's coming up. An NRL prediction. You could do an NRL prediction, or
an NRL prediction,
or a UFC fight.
Okay. I'll say Islam. No, I'll say Islam Makhachev will win this week.
Against who?
Against Bobby Green.
It's something controversial, mate. Not some random.
Well, if I pick Bobby Green, I'll probably lose. So.
Okay, Islam is winning. You could have done the Lakers game and said the Lakers were going to win.
Yeah, but then I'm just copying you.
You're not copying me. You're just swearing on the Bible that we'll win. But anyway.
Okay, my second swear is the Lakers will win.
You swear on the Bible twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Should I read an excerpt from the Bible? I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
No one cares.
I think people care about the greatest manager of all time. I doubt your opinion on that. But anyway, what a great podcast that was, my friend. Do you want to send us out? Bro fist.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. Much appreciated. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.